Welcome back, it's Gideon here, and today we have a bunch of Linux operating systems. So, I just downloaded a bunch of Linux operating systems, as you can see, and we also have VirtualBox open, and today I want to take a look at the speed of VirtualBox versus the speed of VMware, which I also have installed. So if we open up VMware, we'll be able to open both of them and take a look. So, we're going to use some of these operating systems a little bit later, but today the plan is to just use Ubuntu, since that's the most common flavor of Ubuntu there is. So we'll just say new, and then we'll say virtual machine comparison. Or actually we can just say comparison, we just call it comparison. And of course this is a Linux-based operating system running Ubuntu. We'll give it 2 gigs of RAM. And we'll create a virtual hard disk, why not, dynamically allocated. We'll give it 16 gigabytes of storage. That should be good. And then we'll go to settings, storage. Let's take a look. Not a hard disk. We're gonna choose a disk here, and we'll say local disk. Temporary OS disks, and then we're going to pick Ubuntu desktop. So now that it's starting, I'm going to set a timer on my cell phone, or actually what we can do is we can say stopwatch, go, and we can see how long it takes for Ubuntu to boot up. Or actually, we won't use a desktop timer because just in case my computer's running a little slow, which it always is, we'll use my cell phone instead, and I'll just read off to you the time or add it in editing later. The power of editing. So of course I downloaded all of these today. The date is August 13, 2018. The latest long-term release version is 18.04. So many of these Ubuntu-based distributions are also running 18.04 long-term support. So that should be good. So we'll see a first boot setup. So the reason why I want to set up virtual machines is because in approximately 1 year I'm going to go off to college, and I'm going to want to have a Linux-based operating system for my development environment. However, I'm not bringing my desktop, so I can't just do whatever I want. Instead, I have a Surface. My Surface is a 128 gigabyte SSD Surface. So of course there's not going to be enough storage for it, so I plan to run virtual machines off of an external hard disk. So I want to take a look at the comparison between VMware and VirtualBox and see which one could run faster, essentially. So of course we'll do normal installation. We're not going to download any updates, but we will install third-party software. Looks like the time is set incorrectly, probably something wrong with the time zone or something like that. That's fine. So of course when we set up a VMware, we're going to have the same process, and on my next computer I do think that I will encrypt the, let's see, yeah, we'll do this. Both of those. So our security key, will, for now we'll just say password, which is fine. Install now. If you continue, I'd like to continue, of course, of course. So because I have to enter information in the setup screen, we're currently at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and I think that I will just simply make the Gideon, password will be password, and we'll log in automatically because it's a virtual machine. Well, actually, in the future, next year when I'll probably come back, make videos again, and revisit this topic, and we'll see whether or not I intend to continue doing this. It looks like the virtual machine automatically resizes when I maximizes it, so that's nice. Looks like we got some screen tearing though, so that's not so nice. I can't tell whether it's also screen sharing when recording or not, but I can always look at the video later and take a look. So Ubuntu is... Well, I guess we'll have to also look at this feature at VMware as well, as weigh my options, see what I want, what I don't want. But Ubuntu is a great operating system to test that out. It's got lots of features. It's guaranteed to work in VirtualBox since it's been around for so long. Since I am, like I said earlier, putting in my information and it's requiring user input to set up Linux, I'll say within a couple minutes, give or take, that should be a good setup time. So we're currently at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Take a look. So we'll just wait it out a little bit. So now we'll just click restart now, since we have to restart the computer to use the new installation, and we'll lap it at 12 minutes and 17 seconds. So that looks about good. It says please remove the key installation medium, then press enter. So we'll optical drive. It does look like. Let's take a look. Machine settings, storage. Looks like it's empty, so we'll just press enter. Alright. So lap 1 finished at 12 minutes and 17 seconds. It looks like it's done setting up. If the installation is finished, first boot is now at 48 seconds and still booting. Please unlock this, so we'll say the password. So we'll lap it again. 1 minute to alright. Everything looks good so far. So if we write this down really quick, I'll probably add it in editing later as well, but we'll call these laps, and each lap has a specific purpose. So lap 1 would be from pressing start to finishing the installation and rebooting, and so for this installation, so that'd be start to first reboot. And VirtualBox did it in 12 minutes and 17.81 seconds. Then first reboot to encrypted. Oh, that's a stop. So that's 1 minute and 13 seconds of first boot. So encryption password was 59.67 seconds. And then first boot took 1 minute 13 seconds, 13.45 seconds. Next, Mechanical Live Patch helps. No, we don't. Wait, no, yeah, I don't. Don't send system info. Okay, I can use software to install apps like those. I don't really care. Let's play around with this, see how fast it is. So if I click on activities, it's a bit slow. It's pretty slow. Am I waiting for something? Is there no longer a list of applications? I must say so myself. This looks like the GNOME desktop. I thought Ubuntu used Unity. Is this not Unity? Actually, I can't tell. There's an Amazon button though. Maybe they're sponsored by Amazon. Show applications. Oh. This is new. It's definitely slow. I can expect my Surface to be faster. I just don't know how much faster. This is more or less approximately 1080p. Take a look at system monitor. If I'm not mistaken, this computer gets 1 core and 2 GB of RAM, which is exactly what the virtual machine on my Surface will be running with. Maybe 2 cores and 2 GB of RAM, but my Surface only has 4 GB of RAM, so that's going to be an issue. Updated software has been issued. No, we do not want an update. That is something for another time. This is definitely laggy. It definitely feels laggy. Let's say I wanted to run terminal. Alright, opening terminal. I don't know where activity monitor went, but we could say, oh, there it is, nano, hello world.py. Alright, so if I want to do a Python program, print hello world. Python, hello world.py. Oh, we gotta install Python. Oh wait, you have Python 3 installed. Ah, I see. Oh, it's one of those things, we gotta... Python 3, Python 3. Okay. Seems to work okay. I'll say that. There's more screen tearing. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it is definitely screen tearing for me. That's not good CPU usage. That is pretty high. RAM's okay though. RAM's using alright. Some of these are already at 100%. I don't know what that means. I'm not a normal Linux user, as you can tell. I'm more of a Windows user. But seems alright. I'm not a Ubuntu fan. I don't like the Unity desktop, but that's probably just me. I will most definitely not be using this as my main operating system when I eventually go off to college, but for this test, this is fine. Looks alright. I mean, I'll say that. We'll shut it down, and we'll do a couple more tests. So, if I could find my pencil again. Now we're going to do a second boot. Ready, set, go! Alright. I do expect VMware to be slightly faster, as I'll be paying slightly more attention, but it is what it is. Once again, that's why I'm going to say there's a leeway of at least a couple minutes. So this second boot, assuming the first boot and the boot to encryption are 2 minutes total, this should be less than 2 minutes. That's what I expect. There's some Spectre mitigation thing going on here. I didn't think my CPU was affected, considering I have an AMD FX processor. On this computer, at least. On the Surface, I have a Core i5, so maybe that's a little bit different, but I thought Spectre and Meltdown were bugs in Intel processors, so... But what do I know? I don't know anything. We'll wait for this to load, and once it's booted up, we will see. We are currently at 1 minute and 6 seconds, and it looks like it is taking slightly longer, which is a little bit strange in my opinion, but we will give it the benefit of the doubt. Looks like my 720p recording may not be so great, considering that I am running the screen at 1080p and recording at 720p. My preview does not look so good on my second monitor. But then again, I have a GT730 GPU in this computer, so it is not a great computer in the first place. I did make the memory faster though. Got to 16 gigs. From 20 gigs to 16 gigs, but dual channel. So that's about 1 minute and 49 seconds, 49.12 seconds. So, faster by about 10 seconds. Not very fast, but fast enough. That does look a little bit strange, but we'll ignore it. Alright, so now we gotta do VMware. So we'll say, we'll leave VirtualBox running in the background because that's how we had the other one. We'll say new virtual machine. Typical. We would like to install the... We don't want 17. What is easy install? Okay, well, we got local disk, temporary, OS disks, 18.04. What is easy install? Let's take a look. So on the VMware docs, providing an easy install information. Okay. So for Linux guests, full name, username, password. Okay, so we'll use this feature considering that I will use the easy install feature if I were to do it. So does that mean I start the timer here? I don't think so. My full name is Gideon, my username will be Gideon, my password will be password, and my password will be password. Virtual machine will be comparison. We'll use the 16 gigabyte disk and store disk as a... Okay, we'll reduce performance, sure. Customize hardware. So we want 2 gigs of RAM because that is what we did for the other one. 1 processor. Everything else should be just fine. Finish. Looks like it's about to start. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, it's starting. There goes the stopwatch. We'll make this nice and big. And it is not set to the value recommended by OK, sure. I don't know what that means, but easy install is installing Ubuntu 64-bit. Okay. While waiting for that, I'm going to take a look at settings and make sure I know what my settings are. No, that's not what I want. Edit, preferences. What is my key? Key provides a... to release control from the current virtual machine, press Control-Alt. Okay. Easy install is installing Ubuntu 64-bit. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to now mute the microphone, and if something happens, I will come back. Almost done. Theoretically. We're currently at 10 minutes, which is 2 minutes faster than before, which is interesting. I don't know if it's using different setup settings, so it could. I see it's also installing OpenVM tools, so maybe this will run better, which I'm okay with that, honestly. I don't know what I'm doing. Not experienced in virtual machines. So I can figure this out. Let's see, guest additions. I think I can install guest additions for VirtualBox, I think. We'll see. However, we're at 12 minutes now, and this is taking a little bit longer, probably because it's also part of the setup process. Oh, GNOME, Display Manager. So this is using GNOME, it's no longer Unity then. Is that true? I must know the answer. I am... Because I looked at this for a very long time. Oh, fit window now. Oh, auto size. Auto fit. Ah, here we go. Oh, there we go. That was actually a lot easier than I thought. Okay. Perfect. I don't know why that wasn't already enabled. A little bit strange, but that's fine. No big deal. We got it working. So now we'll shut this down. So that first boot took like too long, so we'll just give up on it. What we're going to do is we're going to say power on now. I'm going to call this the first boot. This is like the first or second boot, more or less. There we go. Ready, set, go. Honestly, I don't think it surprises me any that VMware ended up being faster than VirtualBox, considering VMware is a professional use tool. However, I don't know. It's quite a bit slower. Like, this thing just blinks in and blinks out, blinks in and blinks out, whereas on VMware the animation actually works. Yeah, it's lagging. It's definitely lagging. I don't know what to say about this. It's lagging. Not terribly, I don't think, but slower than VirtualBox, I mean VMware, so I think that is my conclusion. We will now use VMware from now on. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Leave a like if you liked it, a dislike if you hated it, and a comment, regardless of whether you liked it or disliked it. I take all feedback, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.